Let me ask you a simple question. Why do so many people who make good money still feel stressed, anxious, and secretly trapped? They have jobs, they have income, they look successful from the outside, and yet their mind never rests. At the same time, you may have met people who don't earn extraordinary amounts of money, but they seem calm, grounded, and confident. They sleep better. They say no more easily. They don't panic about every decision. What's the difference? It's not intelligence. It's not luck. It's psychology. Today's video is not about getting rich. It's not about stocks, crypto, or side hustles. This video is about something deeper, the psychology of financial freedom. Because real financial freedom does not begin in your bank account. It begins in your mind. And by the end of this video, you will understand why more money doesn't automatically reduce stress, why enough never feels like enough for many people, why financial freedom is a mental state before it is a financial one, and where you are right now on that psychological journey. Watch this slowly. This is not hype. This is awareness. Part 1. What financial freedom really means. Most people grow up believing that financial freedom means one thing: a lot of money, a big house, nice cars, no boss. But psychologically speaking, that definition is shallow because financial freedom is not about luxury. Financial freedom is about safety. It is the feeling that your basic life is not under constant threat. It means your nervous system is no longer stuck in survival mode. You stop asking, what if something goes wrong? And you start asking, what do I actually want? True financial freedom is when money stops controlling your emotional state. You don't feel panic when you check your bank account. You don't feel guilt when you rest. You don't feel fear every time the future comes to mind. That is freedom. And that is a psychological shift, not just a financial milestone. Part 2. The scarcity brain. To understand financial freedom, we first need to understand scarcity. Scarcity is not the absence of money. Scarcity is the fear of not having enough. You can earn a good income and still live inside scarcity. When scarcity lives in your mind, your brain behaves differently. It becomes short-term focused, risk-averse in the wrong ways, emotionally reactive. Scarcity makes you overthink small decisions and underthink big ones. It pushes you to spend emotionally and save irrationally. It makes rest feel dangerous. It makes stability feel temporary. This is not a character flaw. It is biology. When your brain believes resources are limited and unstable, it shifts into survival mode. And survival mode is terrible for long-term thinking. That is why people under constant financial stress often make worse financial decisions even when they know better. Scarcity narrows your vision. Part 3. Why more money doesn't fix the problem. Here's one of the biggest myths in modern life. If I just make more money, I'll finally feel secure. Sometimes that works. Often it doesn't. Because if your mind stays in scarcity, more money doesn't create peace. It creates new anxiety. You start worrying about maintaining your lifestyle. You fear losing what you gained. Your definition of enough keeps moving. Expenses rise. Comparison increases. Pressure silently multiplies. This is why many high-income professionals still feel exhausted, trapped, and anxious. They have money, but they don't have margin. They have income, but they don't have psychological safety. Money amplifies what already exists inside you. If fear is there, money makes the fear louder. Part 4. The illusion of security. Many people believe a steady job equals security, but psychologically, security does not come from one income stream. It comes from confidence in recovery. Real security is the belief that even if something changes, you will be okay. That confidence comes from transferable skills, adaptability, savings buffers, multiple options, and self-trust. Financial freedom is not about never working again. It's about not feeling powerless when circumstances change. When you believe I can survive change, your decision-making improves dramatically. Fear loosens its grip. Part 5. Money as an emotional regulator. Let's be honest. Most people don't use money rationally. They use it emotionally. Stress leads to spending. Insecurity leads to status purchases. Exhaustion leads to convenience spending. Sadness leads to indulgence. In these moments, money becomes a coping mechanism, not a tool. True financial freedom means you no longer rely on money to regulate your emotional state. You can feel discomfort, without trying to buy relief. That is a huge psychological upgrade, because when money stops being emotional medicine, it becomes strategic again. Part 6. The identity problem. One of the hardest parts of financial freedom has nothing to do with money. It has to do with identity. Many people unconsciously believe, my job is my value. If I slow down, I'm lazy. If I'm not busy, I'm falling behind. These beliefs keep people trapped long after they have financial ability to breathe. Financial freedom challenges these identities. It asks uncomfortable questions. Who are you without constant urgency? Who are you without stress? Who are you when survival is no longer driving you? Some people reach financial milestones and then feel empty, not because something is wrong, but because they never updated their sense of self. Part 7. Time freedom and the nervous system. One of the clearest signs of psychological financial freedom is a change in your relationship with time. You stop rushing unnecessarily. Your thinking becomes clearer. Your sleep improves. Your creativity returns. When financial fear quiets down, your nervous system finally relaxes. You are no longer reacting to life. You are responding. This is why time freedom often feels more valuable than money itself, because time freedom is nervous system freedom. Part 8. The big paradox. Here is the paradox most people miss. You don't become psychologically free after achieving financial freedom. You become financially free after developing psychological freedom. Clarity comes before wealth. Calm comes before control. Trust comes before abundance. When fear stops dominating your decisions, your financial choices naturally improve. You take smarter risks. You plan longer term. You waste less energy proving yourself. Money often follows that clarity. Part 9. The 4 psychological stages. Most people move through 4 psychological stages related to money. Stage 1, survival, constant anxiety, living paycheck to paycheck, fear-driven decisions. Stage 2, stability. Basic needs are covered, but fear still lives in the background. Stage 3, control. You have savings, skills, options. Confidence starts replacing panic. Stage 4, freedom. Money is a tool, not a threat. Decisions are made calmly. Time feels owned, not borrowed. There is no shame in any stage. Awareness is the beginning of movement. Conclusion. What you really want. At the deepest level, you do not want more money. You want safety. You want dignity. You want autonomy. You want peace. Money can support those goals, but it cannot replace the inner work. Financial freedom is not a destination. It is a relationship with fear, a relationship with time, a relationship with yourself. When your psychology changes, your financial life follows. Not overnight, not magically, but steadily, quietly, powerfully. If this video made you pause and reflect, then it did exactly what it was meant to do. Take care of your mind. Money will stop controlling you when fear no longer does. End note. You are not behind. You are learning, and that is progress.